Good morning and welcome, guys. It's early this morning. I'm going to get an early start to the day. I'm going to start out with a character that I grew up on. I'm sure that some other people did as well. If you ever went to Epcot Center back in the day whenever they had the Imagination Pavilion, there was a character in there by the name of Figment. And I can remember going to Epcot and seeing this character and being just enamored with his exuberance in life and love for imagination. And I think that was kind of, I don't want to say instrumental, but it was kind of another cog in the wheel that ended up turning my imagination to becoming an illustrator and artist. So hopefully this will give justice to the character, and I will see you on the other side. Thanks. Okay, so I'm going to start out with kind of giving you an explanation of the tools that I use. Some of you guys have really questioned the paper and stuff. This is kind of a hot topic whenever it comes to the questions. I get a lot of questions about the paper. So here's the paper. Oh my goodness. This is called Strathmore toned tan paper. Comes in these tablets. Let me see how many pages. It's 9 by 12. It's 80 pound. And it's just fantastic. I can't really, explain exactly what it does for me. It kind of gives me a medium tone base to start from, but these are fantastic. These are about 10 bucks. I get them at a place called Hobby Lobby, and I'm sure you can get them from Dick Blick or any of the other online sources. What's great about Hobby Lobby is they have an online coupon that you can basically download instantaneously right in the store that gives you 40% off. So, I mean, this is like $6. You can't really beat this. $6 for this. And I kind of have I have a stock on these. I have gray, it comes in gray and toned tan. Also, what I have kind of been experimenting with, I use Col Erase pencils. The traditional Col Erase pencils. I know that I think Prismacolor makes their version of Col Erase, and I think I have some of those as well. But I like the Faber-Castell Col Erase pencils. I like the flow of the tip a little bit better, and I like the wood and the erasers a lot, in my opinion, a little bit better. I use a myriad of different types of inking tools. I have these great pens that come in a multitude of hardnesses. They're brush pens that are fantastic. What's really great is they last and they're cheap. I get the 2 of them for like $4, and they have these great rubber grippies. Obviously, they're made somewhere over in Asia, and again, these are from Hobby Lobby. And also, I've got a whole collection of these pens right here. Again, these are brush pens, and they come in a multitude of different nibs and pins and stuff of thicknesses and stuff. And then what else do I use? Of course, I use your Prismacolor markers. I got these online, and you can buy these from different art stores. And then I've got some jet pens that I got obviously from Jet Pens. These are Asian, Asian creation. Fantastic pens. So that kind of gives you an overview. And I've got a collection of these Copic markers that are fantastic. So that kind of gives you an overview exactly what I use on my daily basis. I've been using these tools for quite a while, so I'm really used to the flow. I do have a collection that my travel pack that I use. This is fantastic. This right here. This gets a lot of people going too. This Molotow acrylic premium paint marker. It is acrylic paint that's in there, and then I use this for my highlights. And these are about, I don't know, $8, $9. This is 4mm round tip. What's interesting about the tip is the more you use it, the sharper it gets, depending on what angle you use it at. And I have one that's actually pretty sharp that says 4mm, but I'm not really sure that it is. I think they kind of fibbed on me. It's this one right here. Oh no, this is 2mm. Duh, 2mm. So anyway, that kind of gives you an overview of the tools that I use, and of course I use your standard Prismacolor Premier color pencils. So Figment, again, he has was a great influence in my life, because his exuberance for life and the fact that he, whenever I went to Epcot Center, he was there to greet me. And I can remember being in their gift shop, looking at some of the toys and stuff and going, man, I want some of that. Give me some of that. I think it was a candy dish or, just a little character. And of course, my parents didn't, at least my father didn't. My mother, she was always ready to buy me anything, probably just to shut me up. Something's wrong with my glasses. Messing up here. Don't you hate that whenever that happens? That's what there you go. That's what happens whenever you get a little bit older. Your eyes start playing tricks on you. Anyway, so, like I said, Figment. I love the character of Figment. He is fantastic. I love whoever designed him. I really don't know. It probably would have behooved me to look up exactly who designed him. And I'm sure some of you guys know. Look in the comments or you can correct me in the comments or let me know. But I love this character. I don't remember what year it was. So basically, for those of you who are watching to kind of learn how to do stuff, the way I typically start out is I'll have reference, or I'll have, I've looked at Figment for a while, and I'll kind of get a gauge of, the pose of what I want to do. Maybe I'll do a thumbnail. I don't want to come unprepared to these videos, so I kind of already have an idea of exactly what I want to do. So whenever I teach, I really have that zeal for drawing. And, a lot of people in particular don't have, just that zeal for experimentation. They want to do the drawing. They want to get that piece, that product finished, or they want, results instantaneous. They don't want to have that journey of experimentation, that journey of messing up, that journey of doing something wrong and then learning from it. I heard a quote recently. Who was it from? Oh my goodness. What did they say? It was something to the effect of, I'd have to look it up. It had to do something with, like, I try and I never get things wrong. I only learn. It had to do with, looking at a situation and determining, even though, I might have, quote unquote, done something incorrectly, I didn't really make it incorrect. I learned how not to do it. Or I learned how to do it correctly. Anyway, not to confuse you guys, but what I'm trying to basically get at is the drawing process is hard. Does that make it easy for you guys? For those of you guys that are struggling on drawing, and you're like, why can't I get this right? Why can't I do this? Why is it so hard? Well, here's the secret. Here's a secret of an illustrator that's been doing stuff a while. Drawing is hard. It's hard because you're translating something that is three-dimensional that you're looking at into onto a two-dimensional surface, because this is two-dimensional. I can't reach into the paper. You're into a two-dimensional surface to look 3D. So certain principles and tricks that you have to learn, and skills that you have to learn, and observational skills that you have to learn to be able to make a drawing look three-dimensional. You just don't pop out of the womb and go, I'm ready to draw the Sistine Chapel. It took, years for Michelangelo to be able to draw the Sistine Chapel. And, it's just one of those situations where you have to think, gosh, I could have a lifetime of drawing before I actually have the ability to do anything correctly to where I can actually make money at it. And here's the deal. I make a living at doing this. I've been doing this a while. I've been doing this on and off. Well, not on and off. I've been doing it on. I've been on for since 2000. Now, I graduated college in 2000, and I got a job with a company called Team Edition Apparel. Team Edition Apparel was owned by a company by the name of Venator Group. Venator Group was owned a multitude of businesses, including Foot Locker. And Foot Locker is I don't know, had 95% brand recognition or something like that. So Foot Locker, obviously, was the brand. So they changed the name of the company later on to Foot Locker Incorporated, which made sense because nobody knew who Venator Group was. Who's Venator Group? So I worked for for Foot Locker for about 2 years, and then I moved on and have had numerous illustration jobs, doing illustration work in apparel and graphic design and whatnot. And every single time I went and I did a new job, I always thought, how can I learn from the situation? Even though I might not have the tools to complete the task at the time, maybe I didn't have all the graphic design tools. Maybe I didn't have, maybe I didn't know how to do a package design. Maybe I didn't know how to, do a toy design. Maybe I didn't know how to do, what's a bleed, what's all these technical terminologies that one might learn in school, because I went to school for illustration, and it's kind of funny because I say I went to school for illustration, but the plain fact of the matter is, once you get there, it's kind of funny because you pay all this money to go to school and you're thinking that you're going to get this grand experience, which some people do. And I would never knock on an education in terms of, because it is what you get out of it. But on the same accord, you can't expect them to do the work for you. And that's one of the things that they kind of don't tell you. It's one of those situations where it depends on the teacher you have. It depends on the experiences that what you're willing to get out of there, and you're only there for a short time. So I was there at school for a very short time, and I learned a very rudimentary, I think I broke my tip. I did. Oh my gosh, tip broken. A very rudimentary exposure, good thing I had another one sharpened, bam, version of digital illustration, a very rudimentary version of illustration in general. And what happens is it depends on what you put into it, your fervor, your zeal, your exuberance for what you're doing, and that experimentation. This week I'm going to work in watercolors. This week I'm going to work in color pencil, and during that time, whenever you're in school, is the perfect time to experiment. Whenever you're out here like this doing stuff for money, you don't typically have the time that you would like to experiment with different types of media. Maybe you want to take a 3-week journey on character design. Maybe you want to take a 4-week journey on stuffed animals. Well, if you do that as an adult, if you don't have some kind of a benefactor, or if you don't have a full-time job, if you have a family, it's kind of hard to balance it. So, those of you that are in school, I highly recommend to just basically experiment with, everything. It's your time to experiment and find out who you are. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, all the tools that you need in this land of illustration, I go around like this. See, I'm talking and I'm chatting along, and I'm not getting a lot done here. So I'm probably going to have to end up going time-lapse here in a few minutes. Anyway, so, all these tools and the way you do things, and, finding out how a hand looks, finding out how, certain things react and act and look and stuff like that. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at is this process of, character design, drawing and illustration, all of this business, it's work. It's hard work. Drawing is hard. Some people can say, drawing is is therapy. And I say, yeah, drawing is therapy, but it's also, for some people, it's a lot of hard work. So, for those of you who are having a hard time, who are, struggling, whether you're in school, just know that every single drawing you do is another chapter in your success. Having said that, you're going to have failures. You're going to do things that, don't look good. You're gonna create things that, don't sell. I had one of my old bosses, who remain nameless, said something to me once that has always stuck with me. He was a great man, still is a great man, I'm sure. I don't work for him any longer. I had worked for him for years and years. And I had made a mistake one day. And it was a very big mistake. It actually cost, the company dollars and a lot of heartache. And it had the potential to, he could have fired me. But he, obviously I had particular value for him. He didn't want to get rid of me. But he looked at me after I'd made the mistake, and he brought down the mistake, and he showed me the actual dollar value. And he said, don't ever think that what you do does not have value. And, even those people who aren't working professionally, and you're doing this as a hobby, and you're doing things, on a daily basis or on a weekly basis, don't ever think that what you do does not have value. It has supreme value. You're sacrificing time. You're sacrificing time away from your family. You're sacrificing time away from your children. You're the time that you have. It's time. Time is money. That's the old saying. Time is money. It costs money to do things, because money is the grease that makes the world go round. And that is completely true. It is the grease and the get around here trying to get my forms. And that is basically true. It is what makes the world go round. So those people who are drawing, who are doing things every single day, who are doing things for fun, which is fantastic, doing things to learn, you're sowing into yourself. You're basically giving yourself a leg up. And those of you who are practicing every day, which is what I do, you're giving yourself more opportunity for success. And these things are valuable, Just because you sit down and spend 2 hours and that 2 hours was well spent, So, anyway, what I'm going to do now, since I've carried on a little bit too long, I'm going to go ahead and put this on time lapse, and we're going to get finished with him. Hopefully, I'm going to ink him up really good today, and we'll see you. What day is today? I don't know. We'll see you next time. Does that sound good? I'm going to try to get 2 videos a week, like I said. I've got a new machine, and I'm anxious to get in there and start plugging away on that. I've got a bunch of work I've got to do, which is fantastic. So anyway, thank you guys for liking, subscribing, and visiting my channel. As I said before, the more I do this, the better things will be, the better I'll get. The better things will happen. I'm going to share my studio with you next time, probably, kind of give you an insight exactly what my studio looks like, how I've set it up. And hopefully you guys will enjoy. So again, this is Figment from the World of Imagination. I remember that song. I'm not going to sing it, of course. I'm not going to sing the Imagination song. For those of you who grew up with Figment, Imagination, we know that. So I'm not going to do that and bore you with that. But thank you guys once again for visiting my channel and checking things out. And we'll see you next time.